Just yeah. So let's go. Welcome back to Vibing with Andwele. So as you can see the title of the video, I will be talking about, working as a high school teacher here in the US versus, in Jamaica. So without any further ado, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. All right, so the first thing, so it's a whole lot. It's a whole lot of stuff. Let's see, maybe I'll have to make more than one video. Let's see how that goes. But the first thing that I would like to talk about, so I've got some questions from some persons, and I'll see how best I can answer those. The first point that I'll touch is the classroom and the class size. So, as we know in Jamaica, for high school, I teach at a high school, and for high school, most high schools, students would be given a particular class. So, either you're in 1G, or you're in 7A, or something of that sort. So, in a specific classroom, and then the teachers would come to you. Teachers would stay in a staff room. So that is not how it is here in the US. I think across the board, for high school as well as middle school. So each teacher, is given a specific classroom. So I'm in my classroom now. This is my planning session / and also lunch, right? So I'm in my classroom now. I don't have a class right now and I stay in my classroom. So each teacher is given a classroom. Your classroom is like your room. It's your room. So you are in charge of putting up your charts, fixing it how you want to fix it, as long as it goes by the school's rules as it relates to the walls and so forth. So each teacher gets a classroom, and the students will come to you for each period or each block or each session. So next thing is the class size. Now for my school, the maximum amount of students that can enter or be a part of one class is 30, which is somewhat good. It was similar at the school that I was in Jamaica, so it was nothing new. I wasn't at one of those schools where I had to teach 40 students. It was 20 something on average. So the maximum is 30. So this is my second semester, and my largest, this year, I got my largest class. I got it this semester, which was one of my Algebra 2 class, which currently I have about 29 students. That's the highest I've had. And the good or bad, I don't know if it's good or bad, is that students will move. So sometimes some students will remove themselves, choose to come out or switch classes, right? And the sad thing is that sometimes they will switch or move students into your classroom, right? But class sizes are manageable. The rooms are big enough. Right? So let me see if I can. So this is a room. Hopefully you're seeing. I'm not able to see what I'm showing. But it's a big enough room, right? And you are in charge of, fixing it how you want it to be fixed. Arrange your chairs how you want to arrange it. Up to you. All right, so that's classroom, that's class size. Let's talk about classes, right? So this was one of the biggest shock to me. So different from what I was accustomed to, what I was used to. Because firstly, for high school, so we have middle school, which is grades 6 to 8, and then high school is grade 9, which is the freshman, all the way up to the seniors, which are grade 12. So I teach at high school, and coming here, it's like a university. How they do stuff, it's like university, like a Michael or the Michael, or I'm at UE or one of those universities or colleges, how they do their stuff. It's just like a university. Where, what do I mean by that? So students get an option to select the classes that they want to take. Let's talk about the classes first. So classes, it's not like Jamaica where, all right, then you have grade 9, you're going to teach grade 9 for a year, and you're just going to teach them, for, like I teach maths, so you teach them a little everything. So for a couple more weeks, you're on geometry, and then you move over to measurement or something. Not like that. So there are specific courses. They split up the curriculum or the standard, the syllabus into different sections, different units, and then those are different classes that students would have to take so that they can get a particular credit. So for me, who I'm a maths teacher, I am currently teaching Algebra 1, Algebra 2, and there are other maths courses. So they have geometry, calculus, pre-calculus, and stats, and so forth. It's the same thing for the other subjects. So English, you have English 1, English 2, 3, and 4. You have speech and some other English courses. For biology, I know that you have biology 1, which is for the freshmen, those students who are just coming from middle school. Then you have, I think, biology 2, you have anatomy or something like that, some other science courses and so forth. So depending on your career path, then the guidance department is the one that do the class select placements and so forth. They will tell you certain courses. Are there certain courses that are mandatory for you to complete? The maths courses are mandatory, English courses are mandatory, and I think, like, I heard a student talking about this. Some other courses, like some English, some history, and some other courses might be mandatory. So each student's classes might vary depending on their career path, and there are a whole variety of different classes that are being done here at the school. So the guidance department will place students in a random class. They do it randomly, right? So I get 30 students or less than 30 students, and the students will take that class for 1 semester. So in Jamaica, you would have the same teacher for the entire year. I just have the students for 5 months. So from August to December, I get a new set in January to May. So it's semester wise, just like a university. And if they do poorly, then they will have to redo the class, especially the maths. I can only talk about maths. If they fail maths, the Algebra 1, they would have to do Algebra 1 before they can matriculate into Algebra 2. And they have to do Algebra 2 and pass it before they can matriculate into geometry. And it continues, right? So, yeah. So currently I'm teaching Algebra 1 and Algebra 2. And when it comes on to the grading period, to the grading system in Jamaica, you would have a report in December, one in Easter, and one in summer. That's not how it is done. Seeing that it's a semesterly basis, for my county or my district, they do 4 grading periods per semester. So every 4.5 weeks, there will be a grading period, and then parents will be given a report. And there are 2 parent-teacher conferences for the first grading period and the second period. Again, this is for my school in South Carolina, my district in South Carolina. So there are 4 grading periods, and an exam will make up the 5th grading period, a total of 100%. So each grading period is 20%. So that totals to 100%, and that will decide if the student passes or fails. Now, grades can be anything. So I decide what I want to use as a grade. So if I give a test today, that's a grade. I think I'm required to do at least 2 grades per week, but it's not that difficult because you decide. So you can give a 1 question, say, right, then what is your name? My name is Andweli, 100%, but not going to do that, right? But you make up your own assessments, you do your own thing, right? Especially if there's not a district made examination, then you're given that leeway, or you're given that freedom to decide how your pace at which you want to move, and what you want to teach at a particular time, the assessments that you want to give, and so forth, right? So for me, algebra 2, I teach algebra 2. That is not an exam, so the exam is not set by the district, so I am the one who makes that examination, and I decide my pace. So if I want to move like a what's fast, like a cheetah, if I want to go slow like a slug, it's all up to me, because I am the one who is teaching my class, right? So it's not like Jamaica where the entire department, my past school, every week would have meetings and then try to be on the same pace for each class. That's not the case. That's not the case for my school. It might be the case for other schools, but talking for my school, that's not really the case, right? You get some level of freedom in your pace for some classes, but for some of them, they are somewhat standardized, and they try to, all of the teachers who teach a particular course try to go at the same pace and all of that, right? Because, there's an examination set by the district, and that will decide the ranking of the school and so forth. So, yeah. So 5 grading periods end every 4 weeks for my district. So examination, as I said before, there are some courses that will have an end of course examination that is set by the district, that is normally in the last month of, close to the end of the semester, so in December and also in May, and the students are going for lunch, and some students are going to knock on my desk, on my door. But let me just continue for the meanwhile. So yeah, at the end of December, end of May, and for those courses that are not EOC courses, I as a teacher, I'm responsible to create my own examination, and there are like 2 or 3 days for my school that they normally designate. So those last 3 days or the last 2 days are the days that they normally designate to do all examinations. So students will go to their block, the same 90 minutes, and complete it. So it's no big flashy 2-paper examination, because it's just 90 minutes, right? So whatever you're given, you need to ensure that it's able to be completed in maybe about 70 minutes max. All right, so we spoke about the classroom, about the classes, about the grading periods. Uniform, we know that already. We know how that is. Like every school in Jamaica has a specific uniform. That's not the case here. First week that I came here, I was saying this coming just like those high school TV shows that I normally watch are pretty much the same thing. The corridors with the locker rooms, students wearing anything. They wear anything they want. My school has certain rules. You cannot wear like pajama pants. You should not wear anything that is too revealing, but they can't literally wear anything. I see some students who I feel more or less that they just jumped out of the bed and jumped into the bus to come to school. They wear anything. They wear the shorts, wear anything they want to. Alright, so don't have a uniform. Uniform is mostly for private schools. Yeah, but public schools don't really have uniform. And again, it's a public school. So I think the tuition is free. I haven't heard anything so far about, any parents giving contribution, or, in Jamaica, parents would give a contribution or pay a school fee, even though the ministry pays some, but they would still have to contribute towards, running out of school. I haven't heard anything. It's free. So because it's free, there's some students who, them don't care. They don't even act as if they want to be here, because they know that it's free, and, the parents don't have to pay anything. So if I fail, them just do it back again, right? There are some students who just don't put any effort in the work and all of that, which is sad. All right, so uniform, just like the TV shows. Resources. So for my district, at the start of the school year, each teacher was given a little stipend that should assist with, buying stuff, resources for your classroom. So you're required to buy different stuff like pencil. You should have pencil, crayons, pens, and those stuff there for the students, because chat them now come with none of them stuff there. They won't leave their phones and their AirPods, but they're going to leave their pens, pencils, their books. So you always need to have those stuff. Luckily, you get a little stipend to purchase some stuff. If you want to purchase charts and all of those stuff, you get that money to spend on that. So they give you the cash, they give you a check, you cash it, and only thing you need to do is just make a list of all the stuff that you purchase and keep the receipts. Also, luckily for my area, there is this organization which helps teachers. So once you sign up and you're approved by the school, you get monthly free goodies. So like I get maybe a 1 or 2 bag full of different stuff like pencils, pens, pouches, a whole lot of folder leaves, a whole lot of books and so forth, which it helps. I don't have to be going into my pockets to purchase books for them, because some of them are going to come, I don't have a book, and I don't have paper and so forth. And that's the bell. It's lunchtime. That's lunchtime. So luckily those resources are there, right? And if I think I've never done it, but I think if there's something that you really need, then you can go to the bookkeeper, that's what they call the treasurer, and you'll get it. So this thing, yeah. So I'm back. Students going on lunch and they always leave their bag, because I'm on the 3rd floor and they don't want to walk with their heavy bags to the lunch, to go to lunch and then to come back up the stairs. I understand. So I normally let them leave their bags in here. I have them next block. So let's just talk about that lunch. So in Jamaica, so for a few schools, my high school that I went to and a few schools that I've taught, lunchtime would be on maximum an hour. And you would have your cook shop and your canteen where students would purchase their pre-packed meal, lunch, rice and peas, pasta, whatever, chicken or whatever. That's not how it is here. So lunchtime is like, for my school, I'm talking about my school. So my school, the lunchtime is like 25 minutes, very short, 25 minutes, right? So students, and there are 3 different lunch times. So depending on the floor that you are on, then you will have different lunch times. So first floor will have lunch first lunch, and second floor will have second lunch, then 3rd floor, which is my floor, will have the last lunch. And the lunch like they have there, maybe I would have to do a video about that in the cafeteria. So a big cafeteria where all the seats, and the students will make a line, go up, and collect what they serve themselves, and then put in their code if they have money on their account or they pay or something like that. I'm not really sure, but they collect their food. So I did duty, and teachers are given duty. So you do duty like 1 week per month. So I did my duty last week, and I saw them with stuff like fries, pizza, burger. Students just told me that they're rushing because they have good food today. Don't know what is that good food. I guess I'll know after, during my 4th block. But yeah, and broccoli. I saw them with broccoli at one time, and some other stuff. Apple, American food. So a whole lot of American food. They pick what they want. I think there's a limit to what you can select, right? And they also do breakfast, which is good. Even though, last semester I did duty in the cafeteria during the morning session, when the breakfast session, and most of them would collect the food and most of it would go in the bin. They're very wasteful. It is what it is, They'll collect it and maybe just drink the juice and throw away the food, or they eat eat the American food that I don't know the names for, and maybe throw away the milk or the juice and whatever. They will waste the food, right? But they don't want it, so I guess it is what it is. So yeah, that's resources, and that's the food. What am I forgetting? Yeah. So I think I spoke about a whole lot of stuff, right? So spoke about resources, I spoke about the uniform, spoke about classroom and the class sizes, about how classes are set up. It's a whole lot. The grading, assessments, and the school year. So it was a whole lot. It was some culture shock for me, and it took a little while for me to get adjusted to it, to the phrases that were used. Being a teacher in Jamaica, I'm used to certain things, right? But here in the US, they use different terms for the same things that I'm accustomed to, right? So it was very difficult. I remember the first couple meetings that they will have, staff meetings and so forth. I would just sit there. I remember I sat there and I just looked, because I was clueless to what they were talking about. But luckily, it was the same thing, that was something that I knew how to do. It's just that they were using different words and they had different, phrases for the same thing, right? But after a while, you get to understand what the phrases mean and what exactly they're talking about, then it's okay. Also, so I think I forgot to say, I will say this. So students do the same classes at the same time every day for the semester. If I have, let's say, algebra 2 for my first block, for the first 90 minutes in the morning, I'm going to see them Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, right? So they're going to have, so it's 4 classes that they're doing. So first block, second, third, fourth. And it's the same 4 classes for the entire semester until the new semester that they will change and get 4 more classes. So it's not like Jamaica, which I kind of preferred in Jamaica, the school that I was at. I would have, my timetable would vary. And we do, everybody who is from Jamaica know how this is, right? So you might have maths on a Monday morning, but then you have maths after lunch on a Tuesday, and then you have maths last session on a Thursday and a Friday, and you don't have maths maybe on 1 or 2 days, right? That's not how it is. I have to teach the same students, same 3 set of students each day at the same time for 5 days for 5 months. So it's an experience. Yeah, but luckily we get 1 block free, which is called planning period for my high school, right? So, and it switches depending on the semester. So last semester I had first block planning, which means that for the first set of classes I would be free, I wouldn't have any class, and then I would have to have class second, third, I would get lunch, and then fourth block planning. So it was very stressful, but now luckily I have my planning in between classes. So now I did 2 classes. I have my planning that I'm recording this in, and then lunch, and then my last block that will be starting in a few minutes. But I want to thank you guys if you stayed throughout this entire video. I hope it was helpful for you, so that you can have an understanding of what it is, the experience and what it is like, teaching in the US. Hopefully that I'm hoping that I can do some more videos like this. Stay tuned, and if you have not pressed that subscribe button, please go do that. Click the link below, subscribe, like, share, and leave a comment. So thank you for watching. See you soon with another video.